Welcome to my channel. This is the Diamond Chrysalis, aka Divested Diamonds. This is divestment with purpose, and you have arrived. Greetings and salutations, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for being here today. Please do me a favor and click the like button as you watch this video. Thank you kindly. In today's premiere, we're going to be discussing the shift in feminine energy and the need for corporations and the patriarchy to keep you enslaved to the idea of romance. As women continue to wake up and realize just how bamboozled they've been for centering the male perspective of who they are, things aren't looking too good for these men. Women are finding their voices and making their own decisions on which direction they'd like their lives to go. And this is not sitting well with society. As women continue to put themselves first by not living according to societal norms, it's slowly revealing the ruthless nature of most men and showing just how far they're willing to go when they don't get what they want. Dating apps such as Bumble, who recently came under fire for quite literally shaming women who were centering their own sexual and mental health needs by choosing celibacy over the practices of the toxic dating treadmill, have revealed themselves to be nothing more than digital pimps who promote promiscuity in order to line their own pockets. Forget brothels. These dating apps are now trying to entice women to forgo their morals and just join the fuckfest of hookup culture. This Bumble billboard sparked an even deeper conversation on whose side they were on when it comes to women finding the right partner. The truth of the matter is, women on these dating apps are nothing more than pawns in this greedy capitalist religion. Women are being used as products on a chessboard to be moved around, used and abused, until they give in to the demands of greedy corporations and patriarchy by way of the dating brothel, aka pimp apps. And after they've got you exactly where they want you, it's checkmate. You lose, they win, and laugh all the way to the bank. You're nothing more than a product. And unfortunately, your cooch is always up for sale. Welcome to Pimpology 101. Let's get back to Bumble and those infamous ads. The first one here says, "Thou shalt not give up on dating and become a nun." The second one says, "You know full well a vow of celibacy is not the answer." Just listen to the condescending tones of both these ads. You can actually tell that some male came up with this idea. And dare I say, it was either a black male or an XY of color, going by how this particular one was written. You know full well? As someone who's worked on marketing campaigns in the past, I can always tell when laziness is at the center of any trashy campaign such as this one. If I were in charge of the marketing team and they came to me with this garbage, I would fire the entire team for these unprofessional and tone-deaf ideas. The fact that this was signed off and publicized is highly disturbing. The disrespect towards religion was uncalled for. The tone-deaf attitude towards women's personal life choices is disgusting. It goes against everything that Bumble claims to represent. According to their own website, they claim to champion integrity, kindness, equality, confidence, and respect during all stages of any relationship. We don't just welcome, we celebrate every orientation. Whether you're here to find love or simply find fun, under the heading, How Bumble Works, this is what they have to say. On Bumble, women set the tone by making the first move or by setting an opening move for matches to reply to, shifting old-fashioned power dynamics and encouraging equality from the start. This, to me, sounds like some nonsense spouted by red pill losers. Sure, they make it sound professional, but when you look closely and read between the lines, they've included all these buzzwords like shifting old-fashioned power dynamics and encouraging equality. This wording is supposed to make you feel comfortable, right? Empowered, and make you believe that they are ahead of their time in considering the needs of the quote-unquote modern woman when really they aren't. I'll tell you what it sounds like to me. It sounds like it was written by a creep who lures women into dark alleys. The fact that they pride themselves on women making the first move also shows how much they cater to low-effort males who would rather be led than have the initiative to figure out ways in which to successfully talk to women. Like I said, women are the product here. What they have successfully done is given women the illusion of freedom to choose, when in actuality, men are the ones benefiting more from this than women are. This app is not meant for women. Women are just being used as tools to satisfy the needs of men. Let's take a listen to the following.
Bumble as a dating app is so weird to me, and let me explain. They market themselves as an app that seeks to empower and protect women, and they choose to empower women by allowing them to start off conversations to message a man first. And they seek to protect women from creeps and possible harassment by allowing them to message the creep first, which can open up the chat of possible harassment. I don't know about you, but like 8 times out of 10, I can't really tell that someone's going to be a creep. Sometimes you can look at a guy's profile and you can see it in their eyes. Other times you can't, so you're kind of taking a gamble whenever you match with someone and then you open up that conversation. You don't know what they're going to say to you. I personally would prefer that a man show me his true colors by getting the creepy messages out first so that I can just block him right away than me having to go through the anxiety of messaging a man not knowing who he's going to be.
Bumble's usually the one I use the most, but I never know what to say, like, off the bat. Like, I hate...
Ladies, just a public service announcement that if you are trying to date seriously and take your love life seriously, get off Bumble. If you have a Bumble account, just get rid of it. Bumble was not designed for women. Bumble was designed for men, okay? Men. And not the kind of men you want.
I totally agree. They are not for women at all. At the end of the day, it's all about making money. All they care about are profits. Men are their clients, and women are used as currency. Please be careful out there, ladies. Now, do you all remember Lauren Smithfields? That beautiful black woman who got deleted? She met a creep off of Bumble in 2022 and met her demise on December 12th of the same year. At the age of 23, her case appeared to have been mishandled. Well, surprise, surprise. Nothing fruitful ever came out of that. But as always, these males on YouTube who hate black women celebrated and quite happily made videos saying it was divestment gone wrong. In their minds, any black woman who dates outside of her race is a divester. And if by happenstance anything should happen to her, well, it's her fault. She deserves it. Why, you ask? Because she should have known better. These demons and mammies are sick. At the time, Bumble issued a statement and said, The physical and emotional safety of our community is of paramount importance. We investigate member complaints and take swift, decisive action against any members who do not meet our standards. Well, looks like they weren't too swift in preventing a dusty killer from snuffing out someone's life. It's pathetic and, quite frankly, not good enough. But because all they care about is facilitating this online brothel disguised as a dating app to males who have no social skills, they deemed it necessary to entice women once again who are working on themselves and their mental health. Basically telling them, yeah, we hear what you're saying, but listen, you need to come back. It's not gonna work. In other words, telling women to quit because they have more money to make. And they're doing all of this right off of your emotions. Pathetic. You know, this shaming of women who are choosing to be celibate is just another tactic to keep selling you, quote unquote, romantic relationships that will only lead you to the bedroom, a back alley, or the back seat of a desperate man's car. It's so weird how an app that markets itself as, quote unquote, woman friendly is out here promoting negative, toxic hookup culture. This insidious and clandestine agenda to keep women on a relationship hamster wheel only benefits them, not women. There's a reason most women are choosing to leave dating apps. They are not beneficial for healthy, long-term relationships, but do give a release to soulless males whose only wish is to get their rocks off. The fact that women are choosing themselves and making better decisions doesn't feed into their plans of always using women as currency. Let's take a listen to the following.
Dating apps are uniquely depressing from a guy's perspective because you send out all these likes, then only a fraction of those likes turn into matches, then a fraction of those matches respond to your message, then a fraction of the girls who respond to your message you have a good conversation with, then a fraction of those good conversations turn into planning a date, then a fraction of those planned dates actually happen because sometimes things fizzle out in the planning process, or sometimes people flake the day of, and then a fraction of the dates that you actually go on are worthwhile because either you're like not attracted to the person when you meet them or you guys just don't click. And I'm sure it's not all rainbows from the girl's perspective either. Maybe you guys could chime in, but it's crazy because I've actually had good experiences with dating apps. Like my last girlfriend I met through a dating app, but she said that on our first date, she was thinking about canceling the day of because it was raining out and it just felt like a pain in the ass.
Dating apps are an unnatural way of meeting someone. You never know what you're going to get until it's too late. But anyway, as expected, due to the backlash they received, Bumble decided to issue an apology following those disgustingly worded billboards. They said they would remove the anti-celibacy advertisements, which they called, quote unquote, a mistake. And also, they went ahead and made a donation to the National DV Hotline and offered the billboard space to organizations that help support women, marginalized groups, and abuse survivors. My thing is this. It's all wonderful and everything, but the damage has already been done. As women continue on their journeys to wellness, there will be less need for this kind of effery anyway. A lot of women online slammed Bumble for mocking a woman's choice for celibacy and chastising the company for thinking sex could solve singles dating problems. So I put together a few videos, and this is what some of the ladies had to say.
No, actually imagine being the person who came up with this ad or the copywriter that wrote this. So, if you don't know, Bumble's been trying to do this big relaunch, and this is one of the ads that they came up with, which says, you know full well a vow of celibacy is not the answer. Was the reaction good? You guess. No, it wasn't. And it's because, one, people have mentioned the tone is very condescending. You know full well. Well, no, I don't know full well. And the second reason why there was massive backlash against this ad is because the context of which it's coming out, where people are having conversations, especially women having conversations about the man or the bear, as well as the discussions about the 4B movement that was going on in Korea and kind of spread like wildfire across the world. On top of that, in 2021, Lauren Smith Fields died after a Bumble date, and the date murdered her. So to go with this tone of voice in this context is very tone deaf. I saw an interesting comment that said, why does it feel like they're putting the onus on women to put themselves out there continually, even though they're reacting to feeling unsafe or, not being treated with kindness or being treated politely, and therefore taking this vow of celibacy. At the top of my dome, I'm like, they could have just done free dating coaching for men that isn't given by pickup artists and red pillars. I don't know. They could have literally done anything else. Anyway, if you're a celibate girly, if you're taking that vow of celibacy, you know full well you should join us at Communion, which is an app for just the girls and gender non-conforming babes. Just an online space for you to make new friends, decenter men, talk about work and money, sex and relationships. You can talk about Me Too issues if you have any. You can ask all your dilemmas, identity protected, and journal and track your mood and do all that good stuff. And you can do so celibate. Oh my God.
Hey, have you seen Bumble's new billboard? Can't say that I did. Well, the whole 4B movement, right? Where women have taken a vow of celibacy until men start seeing them as actual people and not just holes. Oh yeah, the one where women are like, we would rather go fuck ourselves for the rest of our lives than deal with this shit. Yes, that's the one. So anyway, back to Bumble. They got a new CEO. Okay. And they put up these billboards that... They put up these billboards that said celibacy is not the answer. That's a bold move, Cotton. Right? Yeah, that'd be like dudes saying, we're tired of our worth being tied to a number in our bank account. Exactly. Even if men just said, hey ladies, we would like a safe space to process our emotions and not be judged as a weaker man for it. Right, and in response to that, what if Tinder put up a whole billboard saying, hey men, quit whining and open your wallet? Oh my God, what fucking douchebags. Fucking idiots.
I took one for the team last week and I downloaded Bumble so you don't have to. If you haven't seen it, Bumble have launched a whole big campaign about this new evolution of dating, new change of Bumble. Bumble have fumbled and it's all gone a bit tits up. Now, I haven't been on Bumble for a year. Biggest observation is they've just reskinned the design of the app a little bit. And now there's this thing called opening moves where when you match, the man can start the conversation. Which is nuts because the whole USP of Bumble was that the women make the first move, but whatever. But there's two things that I want to talk about. One from a marketing perspective and two, just generally how it's changed my view of dating. And this is a massive brand campaign. Bumble completely deleted all their social posts. There's out of home everywhere. I saw this at my local tube station. I was like, oh, that's a little passive aggressive. For one, I'm partial to a chilled red. And I've seen loads of TikToks over the last week calling out that out of home, this is in the States. I genuinely thought this was a mock-up that someone was taking a piss. I didn't realise that they actually put this out. Actually, Bumble have issued an apology and made a donation to charity as well. Having been in a marketing team where once we had a bit of controversy and had to pull something, having worked in social teams where you're the ones that have to pick up the shit when something goes wrong, I can guarantee that a couple of people internally were probably like, is this the right approach? I, for one, want to thank Bumble because it has made me see that dating apps are just not the way I want to date anymore. I have come off every single dating app that I was on. I just feel so liberated. I've had really wonderful experiences of dating in the last year with people I met in real life, and I think that's the way that I want to go. Dating is definitely changing, and maybe apps aren't the future anymore. Over to you, what do you think?
Yo, Bumble, fuck you guys for real, because are you not aware that you can be a woman who dates males and is still celibate? Or did you just completely skip over that fact? Because right now, this feels like a campaign to encourage rapists. Essentially, what you're saying is, if a male takes us on a date and buys us a dinner, we owe him our body. And if we're celibate, that's not valid. You're delegitimizing our celibacy because you want males to have more access to our bodies. And then you think that we're gonna have a positive reaction to that? You must be out of your damn mind. The fact that y'all have the audacity to push this campaign when there is a literal femicide going on in Congo right now, where women are being kidnapped by the masses and essayed by the soldiers in front of their family members, okay? Women are having to watch their daughters get raped by soldiers, okay? Is that a concept that you guys thought about before you put out this stupid fucking brainless campaign? I would not be surprised to find out that before they pushed this campaign, they fired a bunch of women from the marketing department. I bet you anything this was a male's idea, and I bet you anything they had to get rid of certain women that worked in the marketing department to be able to push this campaign, because there's no way women signed off on this campaign, and if they did, I am incredibly disappointed in you. So I'm on my Bumble app right now, and I'm deleting my account, and this is my message to you. Your campaign delegitimizing celibacy is an absolute threat to women's safety, and I will not be using an app that encourages males to be so entitled to my body that they will not respect celibacy during the dating stage. Fuck you guys.
This is for the advertising and marketing director over at Bumble, the dating app. If you're not that, you can keep scrolling. Bumble, count your days. You really have billboards all over the city talking about a vow of celibacy is not the answer. So what is the answer? Giving it up to raggedy, undeserving men? At 2 Bumble? We've already been bombarded with people saying there's a male loneliness epidemic. They're tired of waiting on you to heal. They're going to start putting their hands on you because they're getting frustrated. So now we have all of this pressure from the news media, from society, from the patriarchy, from every direction telling us, just give it up, stop fighting, give the men what they want. And y'all are doing it too? At 2 Bumble? Y'all are just as raggedy as the men you're trying to shove down these women's throats. You got men on here talking about ladies, some of y'all are going to have to settle. No. For the men out there who refuse to get their lives together to make themselves worthy catches for these women, but still want you to settle for them, no. To Bumble, trying to guilt trip and manipulate women into settle for these raggedy men, no. Y'all make that bear look better and better every day. For y'all to be an app that's all about women making the first move, and now you're telling the women what move to make? Who came up with this idea? Who greenlit this campaign? I bet it was a man.
It's nothing new that our existence as women has been commercialized by using shaming tactics to keep us in check, like the issue of marriage, for instance. Every woman is not cut out to be a wife or a mother. Not every woman wants to get married or have children. Society has always concocted this urgent need for women to fall in line and sold the idea that they should want these things. Failure to that, you're an outcast. It's what women are here to do, they say. That's a woman's purpose in life. Why do you think you're here? They ask. They continuously shame women by indoctrination through religion, tradition, culture, and any other methods in order to beat their uteruses into submission. And let me make a few things clear. There's nothing wrong with wanting marriage or children. Those decisions, however, must never be influenced by society, tradition, outside forces, or any kind of religion. It should be your choice and no one else's. Equally, if not being married or not wanting children is a part of who you are, and it aligns with how you live your life, you owe no one an explanation for it. If abstaining from sex is important to you, that should be your choice and no one else's. It shouldn't be up for debate. I mean, what's there to talk about? Unfortunately, we as women haven't had the luxury of simply existing without criticism. We can't just live our lives without males chiming in and constantly telling us what to do. They are usually trying to force us to participate in things that only benefit them, and then get surprised when women don't comply. What's even worse is when fellow women assist the patriarchy into chastising you for not wanting to partake in this sheep mentality and brainwashing. There's a reason the feminine shift is happening. The reason women are taking back their power and refusing to conform to societal norms that have hurt women for hundreds of years. We are simply too tired to give a fuck. They keep whining about population decline, and my attitude is, let it burn. Let it all burn down to ashes. As a woman, I don't care. The reason those wonderful women in South Korea chose to create the 4B movement was to tell the patriarchy to stick it where the sun don't shine. The reason the birth rate is declining in many parts of the world is because women are closing their wombs to patriarchal abuse. They are finally choosing to be happy by living life on their terms. This is not good news for most countries' economies because they need the physical and emotional labor of women to continue feeding into it. The more children women have, the more the economy thrives. They need slaves, aka your children, to work for next to nothing, while others continue to join the prison population. Do women really want to continue giving birth to slave populations that society deems disposable? Every time a woman gives birth, 1, she's putting her life at risk. 2, a piece of herself is transferred into another being. And while her child might be valuable to her, society treats them like some cheap, mass-produced entity using her womb and her DNA. Let me ask you a couple of questions. What's wrong with this picture? And what's your DNA worth to you? The truth of the matter is, without women, the entire world deteriorates and eventually collapses. This is also why Roe v. Wade was overturned. The goal here is for you to have children under any circumstance, so you could voluntarily hand them over to the government to do with as they please. They don't care about you being raped or being touched by family members. All they're interested in are numbers. They'll pretend to care about humanity when it comes to check the screen, but will simultaneously allow the adoption of kids and the fostering of kids, which we also know to be legal versions of check the screen. Prove me wrong. Listen, when money is exchanged for a product, or in this case, human beings, is that not a transaction? And look, I do realize that this is a hot take. This is not a dig towards those who've been adopted or fostered. I just want you all to see things for what they really are. Quality doesn't matter here. It's all about quantity. And once again, they want access to your bodies, ladies. Let's take a listen to the following.
Let's talk about these low birth rate numbers and what they say to you. How concerning is it?
How concerning is it?
Well, Elon Musk said the greatest threat to our civilization is not AI, it's not climate change, it is demographic collapse. And we're at the precipice. We're at 1.6 in terms of total fertility. We need to be at 2.1 or above to replace ourselves. And we're not doing that. And it's a crisis.
Is it surprising that people not having no children? Y'all really surprised? Look at the type of environment we got to deal with, bitch. We is living in one large ass open asylum. That's what we live in. We can't afford shit. We can't afford to damn eat, bitch. They're closing down the damn dollar stores and hell, half of us be eating up out of there. You see a need for consoling. I see people being more responsible. When I tell you the girlies is not playing with y'all, they say it ain't no more room in a poom poom for no babies, bitch. The gateways from the spiritual realm is closing up, bitch. They say you bitches woke up through me. And as a motherfucker who don't want kids myself, bitch, I just don't see the need. It's just too much. We ain't finna keep birthing y'all slaves. We not finna keep birthing y'all motherfucking goddamn workers and people that y'all gonna poison and kill. We just not finna do that. We can't even feed our damn selves half the time. Y'all talking about, oh, you're not having children. Look what the fuck we gotta go through. We are living in uncertainty. times is uncertain. I feel like to have children at this point is just irresponsible. But the girls that did they big one, bitch. They said, fuck y'all and them kids.
I suppose that explains why Elon Musk's Dusty Peen can't stop having children. This male has 11 children with 3 different women. Unbelievable. And it's not just about the money here. Sure, he can afford them. The point here is he is unable to give each and every one of those children the physical, mental, and emotional support that they need in order to be well-rounded individuals. You can't just throw money at kids. That's not how it works. Children require way more than that. You have to cater to each and every one of them based on their personality. But it's always easy to tell women what to do when you're not the one pushing out a melon-sized human out of your cooch, isn't it? Again, a lot of these men, society in general, and the patriarchy itself need the use of women to achieve what they want. This is also why low-grade, low-vibrational males are online telling women to lower their standards because they want the chance to have access to your bodies. They want you to drop your standards to give them your body, emotional, and mental support in order to recharge themselves while leaving you completely drained. Let's take a look at the following.
Some of y'all ladies gonna have to settle. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but listen, everybody can't have a perfect man out here.
Let me tell you why what he said is actually a good thing. The myths surrounding relationships are evolving, and as they evolve, they get closer and closer to the truth. Remember back in the day when men said that if you had a bad man or you suffered in relationships, it was your own fault? I mean, they still say that, but remember when they said all you had to do to have a good man was to choose better? Now they're getting so desperate, they're telling you more of the truth, which is that good men are in limited supply, but they still want access to your labor. So he's laying it out. Oh, some of y'all are going to have to pay for the privilege of having a dusty man in your life. You might have to go 60-40 on your end. And let's stop fucking lying. What they mean is you're going to have to pay 100% of everything, and while he lays up under you and gets a soft life. But why do relationship myths evolve to start with? Because we have successfully disproved the old one. For my black ladies, it's like interracial dating. Back in the day, what did black men always tell you? Oh, white men don't want you. They're not interested in you at all. They think you're this, that, and the third. All of these high-profile women dating and marrying out prove that to be a lie. So the myth started evolving. It went from, well, they don't want you to they only want the highest of the high-class black women. They only want a certain type of aesthetic. They only want this and they only want that. And every time one myth is disproved, another one pops up to take its place. But they have to fold some truth in to strengthen their lie. So we get closer and closer to knowing the reality behind their actual thoughts. And this man just spilled all the beans. Check it out.
Everybody can't have their cake and eat it too. Like, you can't have the best of the best. Sometimes you got to just go for what you got and be happy and be grateful. Because you can have nothing at the end of the day and be miserable.
Translation there, if you don't settle, he can't have his cake and eat it too. If you don't take what's available, then he's not going to be able to live his soft life. Because who's doing all the settling in this equation? He's not going to men and saying, well, you should settle for less than your, top aesthetic type. Maybe you won't get the IG baddie. Maybe you should get with a woman who's not your physical type. Maybe you should be providing more. Maybe you should do half the chores or more than half the chores. They're not telling men to go 60-40 on the chores if they want access to women. Instead, he's trying to manipulate you. Obviously, he has failed miserably and is actually just embarrassing himself. But this is part of a new wave of content that we've been seeing for like the last 6-ish months. Men are enfolding women's talking points into their pleas and demands, because all the stuff he was just saying, oh, well, there aren't enough straight men to go around. A lot of them are married and a lot of them are in jail. Black women have been saying that for centuries. And the solution was always, well, you should try harder. Or if they really had the razzle dazzle, well, what about polyamory? You can't even take care of one household. You can't even emotionally connect with one woman. And now you're supposed to have multiples. But be not deceived. The goddess is not mocked. Nobody wants you all, and you're going to die alone. Like and follow for more.
A frustrated man will punch you. And I don't want that for y'all. Let's get back to, you know what I'm saying? Not even get back to, let's just enhance the in-house cooking. Ladies, y'all treat sometime. It's a recession. They tired of having to keep on kicking out money to get to know you. They tired. They tired of you saying you healing. And I just don't want to see y'all head get twisted around, man. Because I'm really on your side, yo. So just, ladies, just throw in the towel.
And these are the self-proclaimed good guys, him and the abusive men that he's advocating for. These are the same men who were so offended that women would rather choose a bear than to choose a man. They act as if they don't know anybody who would ever do something rude or mean or cruel or harmful or physically abusive towards a woman. They act like I don't know anybody like that. But this man seems to. I think you all know a man or two who would put his hands on a woman. Matter of fact, maybe even you would. We see your comments when a woman is pushed or shoved or hit or abused in some kind of way. We see how you celebrate that. Oh, don't let it be a man who she rejected in the past. You find all the excuses in the world for why she deserved it. But then you wonder why we still rather see a bear in the woods than one of you. Settle for one of them is what he's telling us to do. Tell your mother that. Tell your sister that. Better yet, tell your daughter that.
I absolutely love that content creator. Her responses are always on point. She's very articulate and extremely wise. But I digress. So yeah, I could smell the dust through the screen. That male is most likely very broke, probably lonely, with multiple baby mamas. Black women, keep your guard up, especially when encountering such males. His type will not take no for an answer. By the way he's talking, I'm sure he's manhandled several women before. And I wouldn't be surprised if all of that happened just for being rejected. A lot of these emotional males cannot handle their emotions. With that said, we need to listen intently and allow these dust bucket losers to express themselves. They are always telling on themselves. As women continue to progress and better themselves, most men will be left behind. This is why they keep harping on about the good old days. They are trying to send women back to servitude, and that's simply not going to work. What we're going to see, however, is an uptick in violent males who've been starved out of the system. Men who are unwanted and of no value to intelligent, educated, high vibrational women. These men will display their lowest forms of degeneracy because they can't compete with other men. Once the frustration sets in, you will start seeing very odd behavior from them. Also, I'm not sure if you've noticed, but prison dating shows are slowly creeping in. We've already had Love After Lockup on WeTV. Lifetime has a show called Prison Brides. The ID channel, Investigation Discovery, had a matchmaking prison show called The Prison Matchmaker. There appears to be a boom in prison pen pal services as well. Listen, no amount of desperation should ever lead a woman to the dumpster to look for a man. These males are soiled. There's a reason that they ended up in that position in the first place. And it's not lost on me what they're trying to do here. This is all to get women desensitized to the stigma attached to incarcerated males. Most of these people need a place to go once released. And the system is hoping that women could just open up their homes and take them in. Hopefully have children with them as well, especially the younger ones, so the cycle could continue feeding into the system. So while apps like Bumble continue to masquerade as quote-unquote woman-friendly and has the face of a woman as the CEO, it's all just smoke and mirrors. The majority of shareholders look nothing like you. I personally believe that they are working alongside the powers that be to keep women in line and in check. Because let me tell you, these males will not succumb to defeat without a fight. Harassment of women will definitely be on the rise. It's already happening. And this is not to say that it hasn't always been that way, especially for Black women. Let's take a look at the following.
I just rejected a guy in Kroger, and the security guard had to escort me outside for safety to my car. Story time. Real story. That just happened just now. I'm literally shaking. So if my word is mumbling, that's because I'm still trying to process what just happened to me. So I simply went to Kroger, minding my business, to go get some fruits and some veggies to prep my meal for me and my kids. And I noticed that there were two guys around just lurking. They really wasn't doing anything. But because I have my baby, my focus immediately start paying attention to their asses. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to be judging people. They might just be doing their own thing, but I'm still going to keep an eye. It is sad that we have to do this as women, but again, your intuition is never wrong. So don't ignore it when you feel like something is up. So while I was minding my business, picking up my fruits and stuff with my baby in the cart, one of the guys just kept passing my cart. And I was like, okay, this is weird, but he was picking up some bananas. So I'm like, okay, maybe they're fucking shopping. That's what I'm thinking. So as I left the fruit aisle to go pick up some yogurt, one of the guy pat me on my shoulder, and I turned around. And, well, I didn't know it was one of them, but when they pat me on my shoulder, I turned around and I noticed it was him. And I said, hi. And he said, hi. And he proceeded to ask me, where is the cocoa in the store? And I said, I don't know where is the cocoa. I don't know. And I was like, maybe you can ask somebody in the front. And he was like, so can I have your number? And I said, no, I'm sorry. You cannot have my number. And I started pushing my cart. And you know when somebody pulled your shoulder, like, okay, you need to come back. I'm not done talking to you. That's exactly what he did. So I said, excuse me, you don't touch me like that. You don't do that shit. Like, that is very disrespectful. Don't touch me. So I immediately just forget about the yogurt and everything, and I start pushing the cart towards the register. He proceeded to follow me to the register, like close to the register, and I was like, dude, what do you want? And he was like, I'm just asking you for your number. So the other guy I saw coming towards us. And I was like, okay, this is not looking good. Let me just leave this shit inside of the grocery store and head to where the security guard is. So I told the security guard what was going on, and he was like, okay, I will escort you out in a minute. Just stay right here. So he walked up to the guys, and he was like, I don't know what he asked them, but they started laughing. And they was like, look at this mother effing clown trying to question me. That's exactly what they said to the guy, the security. So the security was like, okay, let me escort you out. And he was like, do you want any grocery? I said, no, I don't want any grocery because I just want to go home with my kid because I have my baby. So while he was taking me to my car, the guys, they walked out the store as well, and they started yelling at the security guard. They started calling out his name, and he was like, don't pay attention to them because if they come at me, I will be able to protect you and your kid. And I'm so grateful for that security because he didn't have to, but he did. I ended up being in the car safely, and I pulled off and I drove around a little bit before I had come straight home because I didn't want nobody to be following me because I don't know if they was following me or not. But my thing is, why is it so hard for men to take rejection? When a woman says no, why is it so hard for you to respect that shit? Respect when a woman tell you no. It's a reason why she said no. She's just not interested. And for her to feel unsafe because she said no, it's crazy. Like, what happened to respecting people's boundaries? What happened to respecting people, period? Why do I have to think about you taking my life because I said no? I just don't understand, y'all. So please, ladies, be safe out there. And men, start acting like men now, please. If a woman says no, respect that. Respect her no.
Notice how shaky she was? When it really comes down to it, these males don't care about your feelings. They don't care about your boundaries. They don't care about your personal space. Black males especially have a familiarity complex when it comes to Black women. They approach you and talk to you like they know you. Not only is that dangerous, it's inappropriate and a huge problem. They are usually rude about it and they can't take rejection. It's not okay. I really hope she's okay. And this is what I'm talking about. Women are used as tools for the male's enjoyment, and the majority of them don't really care how it makes you feel. You have males telling women how a woman is supposed to be, how feminine they're supposed to be, when they've never experienced a day in their life as a woman. Men know nothing about femininity, yet they preach it. And this is why we need to stop calling men feminine. The most they can be when it comes to imitating us is effeminate. The two aren't the same, but I digress. Question: would you take advice on womanhood from someone who's the complete opposite of you? Yet again, I digress. The truth of the matter is, they disregard you and your feelings all the time because they don't care. Majority of them don't even see you as human. There's nothing more dangerous than a soulless man who doesn't see the humanity in you. Stay safe, ladies. And my advice to you is, if you can, stay off the dating apps and do whatever it takes to protect yourselves in case the wolf shows up at your door. Stay vigilant, ladies. On that note, what are your thoughts on what's been discussed here today? Please leave your thoughts and comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And remember, ladies, you are worth it. You are valuable. And no XY should convince you otherwise. Your value must never be predicated upon your reproduction or what you can do for the male species. Without women, the world collapses. Women are the master key to the survival of humanity. Most men wish that they could do what we do, but can't. Nature chose women because the feminine is the giver of life. The masculine destroys everything in its path, but still expects the feminine to keep producing over and over and over again, only to be later destroyed. What a waste. Thank you so much for watching. This is the Diamond Chrysalis. You've been watching XX Activated. Divest like a butterfly, and I'll see you next time. Bye, diamonds.